Alright, what is going on, guys? gdoggcasey here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay. This is the first replay I've cast in quite a while, and let me give you a little bit of background on it. There is a Reddit user that goes by the name of Terminator, and he shared this replay on Reddit in the StarCraft subreddit a little while ago, and said it was the game of his life. So me and a few other people picked it up and decided to cast it because we wanted to see exactly what it's all about. And I've seen some of the comments. I don't know what happens in this game, but I do know that some other people have confirmed that it's a great game. So let's go ahead and introduce the players. And in the top left, who I believe to be our hero, it is FoxMacher, playing Protoss. And in the bottom right corner, in the blue, he is Dranes. Presuming he is the enemy in this game, but we'll have to see, because the names are different, so I don't know exactly for sure who is who, but I'm assuming that our main character is FoxMacher. And this is a beta platinum level game. FoxMacher is a platinum Protoss, and Dranes clocked in as the gold, but we will see what's going on. So already we see a pretty common opening from the Protoss player here, the 2 gateway opener. It can indicate one of two things. He can be aggressive with it, but he can also be defensive with it. I think definitely you want to try to be aggressive, otherwise you're wasting an opportunity to get some damage done. So we'll see about that, what he's going to do. On the other side, 1 gateway and 1 cyber core. It's a little bit more economic friendly. You should be able to get at a faster expansion. And it looks like that is indeed... Nope, that's actually Dranes here. Going to come scout around and see if he spots an expansion. And we're going to find out. Now, there's a hidden pylon over here for FoxMacher in the base. That may be unscouted, actually. Yeah, it hasn't been seen over there. Whoop, hold on. There we go. So we'll see what's going on with this pylon. There's no probe in here, so I don't think he's really going to be able to do much with it. But still kind of funny. He can warp in later on if he wants as well. No Nexus coming down either. Instead, he's going to be going for a 2nd gateway as well as a forge. So that's a little bit interesting here. The forge, I'm not exactly sure. Unless he just wants to get at a quick +1, maybe combine it with a bit of a timing attack. And the probe is returning home as well for FoxMacher. So both players saving the expansion for quite a bit later. Dranes is now going to put it down and basically just try to defend. He's chrono boosting out a Stalker. And still hasn't noticed that pylon over there yet. See, so this opening is just a little odd for Dranes because he is getting the 2nd Stalker out now, but it's just not really the best timed. And if these two pop out at the same time, then he can move across the map with a couple Stalkers and try to poke a little bit. But definitely with the Robo facility going down here for FoxMacher, as well as a 3rd gateway, and still no 2nd base, by the way. This is looking to be like maybe like a 3-gate timing attack or something. The Immortal's coming out. Nothing started with the forge just yet, so... Oh, there's a cannon, actually. So, you know, the cannon is coming down. A little bit extra defensive here. If he was on the other side of the map scouting, he'd know that his opponent made the expansion, is not really planning on attacking anytime soon, so he wouldn't really need the cannon. And his opponent's getting the robotics facility as well, which is very common in Protoss versus Protoss. You want to get those Immortals out. The fact that this Robo is finished earlier is really good for FoxMacher, because if he can continuously pump out Immortals, then he's going to have the Immortal lead. And right now he does have that Immortal lead, but he is not continuously pumping those out. Instead, he's going to be warping in here. This is within vision of Dranes, by the way, and it's a slow warp, and these 3 Adepts are going to be pushed back pretty quickly by these Stalkers. They might be able to get off a couple probe kills. We'll have to see. 1, maybe 2, 3, maybe a 4th. And I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at, really. Maybe even a 5th here. Oh, that was the 4th. Okay, so 4 workers going down. Now the pylon is spotted, and he's not attacking it. Just gonna let that survive for a little bit longer. In fact, he's actually moving his Stalkers incredibly out of position, so another warping of Adepts here could be incredibly scary. As well as like a sentry to force field the ramp. He's gonna kill it from down there, so he'll end up taking care of it. Oh god, just kill that pylon, please. Okay. Now the 2nd base coming out for FoxMacher, as he got a little bit of damage done on the other side. The worker count is actually pretty even, but Dranes still has that potential to get more probes out much quicker. Just not really taking advantage of it at the moment. He does have the Twilight Council out, but no upgrades pumping from it. Probably going to be seeing Blink, I would guess, coming out of Dranes, considering the Stalker County's building up. Other side here. Couple Immortals out on the field, and he's got the 3 gateways with Warp Gate already finished. He is going to get +1 attack now and start to round things out a little bit. I'd like to see either a Twilight Council go down with this, or maybe, I mean, probably not a Stargate. You're not really, it seems a little late to be going for Stargate right now. A couple probes misrallied there, but it's all good. Dranes is actually out on the map now with a number of Stalkers and Immortals. Has not turned his gateways into Warp Gates just yet. Forge finishing up, and a Stargate for him coming in. So he's just trying to get a little bit more, you know, a little bit more tech out there. But I don't know if he realizes that he could be warping these gateways into Warp Gates, and that would be a lot more efficient in terms of getting these units out. But he's going to go ahead and try to cross with the Stalkers here. Might be able to pick off a Sentry. Going to take down the rocks. A couple shield batteries coming in, or 1 shield battery and a cannon. Going to be very helpful in this defense, and the 2 Immortals on the high ground are just going to smash this away. They were recalled back. Okay. I was like, was there a stasis ward there or something? No, just recalled back. So they're going to be fine. We got a double Immortal. Jesus, this shark here. Just right in my way. We do have a double Immortal drop moving out. This is pretty fun. It's something people used to do quite a bit back in the day. Like, I think this was even a Wings of Liberty type strategy, so that's pretty cool to see coming out of FoxMacher, and he might be able to get a decent amount of damage done, considering the amount of Stalkers being made back at home. Finally, the gateways are being warped into Warp Gates, and we got Void Rays coming out as well. So some pretty powerful units being made by both sides here, and Dranes right now enjoys a bit of a supply lead. He has a worker lead. He's got a lot of Stalkers as well. A couple Zealots running across it. In comes the Warp Prism. Gonna try to get some harass, and the army units are out of position for Dranes. So he can drop in here, like pop a pylon, maybe even kill a couple buildings. Let's see what he wants to do. It looks like he's trying to get ready to take a 3rd base. And these 3 Zealots are just gonna walk in and play the distraction role as they get mopped up pretty quickly. But in comes the Warp Prism for FoxMacher, dropping in the probe line. Already 2 probes go down, 3 probes. A number of probes are dying here. This is a lot of damage coming in from FoxMacher. Finally, the probes evacuate, and I mean, technically, if he knew how, he could do some Warp Prism micro here as well. But there are so many Stalkers, and even a Void Ray gonna murder that Warp Prism with the Immortals inside. So a little bit of a sad end, but even more units for FoxMacher coming up into the natural now. Not a huge number. There's definitely enough army units here for Dranes to push this back. But overall, nice harassment coming out of FoxMacher. 11 workers killed in the end through both harassments. And he's got a 3rd base building right now. So he's going to have a bit of an advantage here in this game. Nice harass. I like what he's doing here with the shield battery and the cannon as well. The shield battery will heal the shields of the cannon. So that is pretty helpful. And looking like he just wants to take a step back, get his 3rd base up, maybe advance his tech a little bit. He is getting a Stargate now as well, right here. But starting to get mined out of the main here. Both players doing a pretty good job of spending their money, though, keeping their minerals pretty low for the, you know, considering the league that we're casting here. Dranes is a little paranoid about units just moving around outside his base, and he's got a large army here. In fact, his army is double the size of his opponent, and if he were to move across, which is essentially what he really wants to do now, considering he's behind a base, he wants to move across and try to put pressure on this 3rd and potentially kill it. But he needs to be a little bit more decisive, because the longer he waits, the more time that gives FoxMacher to actually benefit from the 3rd base and get a lot more units. And he's building more Warp Gates here as well, which is going to help him macro and catch up in that army supply. But here we go. It looks like Dranes has the right idea, going to try to do some damage to this 3rd base. Be nice if he wanted to get a 3rd base behind this to buy some time. This is the perfect time to expand when you're on the other side of the map attacking. So maybe that's part of his plan here. But here we go. Engagement coming in. The Stalkers and Immortals coming in, as well as a Void Ray powering up on that Immortal. One Immortal goes down incredibly fast. The rest of the army coming in from the right flank. A lot of FoxMacher's army dying here. These Immortals are pivotable. Oh my god, what a word. They're pivotal in this battle, but it looks like the third base is going to be sacked here, and it's going to go down without too much resistance. It looks like he's going to try to poke away at some of these army units. The probes are being pulled as well to help in the battle. Immortals are going down, and he uses recall again to bring all of his units back home, except for one Stalker and one Observer. Quite a bit of workers went down, 7 workers, but overall, very good defense from FoxMacher. Honestly, I thought that he was going to end up dropping that base, but he made a good decision to come down with his couple of Immortals and basically just took a really efficient trade against his opponent and was able to hold the base. So that's really good for FoxMacher here. He didn't lose that many probes, as much as he should have, probably. So he still has an economic lead. He's getting a 4th base hidden down here that is probably not going to be scouted for quite a while. And that's going to help as well. Now, Dranes did get his 3rd base up, and he needs to move some probes over there. The main is going to be mined out pretty quickly here, and it looks like that's what he's doing, or he's trying to anyway. He needs to start making some probes to send over there, but now his goal is defend the 3rd, which I'm still not sure I agree with 100%. He should know that his 3rd base is behind, and at this point, if he sits back, he's going to let FoxMacher just take more and more advantage out of his economy here. But still, he has a much bigger army, and it looks like he's putting a lot more focus in his army than FoxMacher is, and he's coming across the map for another attack. He doesn't know about this base, but he might see that probe. Oh, the probe gives away the position of this base, so now with the army completely out of position for FoxMacher, this base is going to be scouted and probably going to be destroyed here pretty quickly. Here comes FoxMacher to try to defend, and he's got a flank here, but he really doesn't have enough units. That War Prism could get sniped out of the sky, and we just need a little bit of decisiveness here from Dranes. He can either focus down the Nexus, which it does turn out that's what he's going to do, and that Nexus goes down. So he can walk back home now and be a little bit okay. Now there is an Oracle over here who is going to sacrifice himself to the cannons and not really get too much done, which is a little bit unfortunate. But that is a step in the right direction for Dranes. He still needs to keep up his probe production and make sure that he can catch up in economy. And he needs to make use of this giant army. Like, for some reason, he's sort of letting FoxMacher sit back here. Another probe going, actually was able to sneak away from that army. And here he comes up the ramp, trying to make another attack on the 3rd base. The Void Rays are really helping out here. And he's going to walk on up, take out one pylon, and try to take out the 3rd base. This army is just too much for FoxMacher to deal with. And, I mean, it was similar last time, right? But it looks a little bit more decisive now for Dranes. He's doing a lot of damage to the 3rd base. It looks like it is eventually going to go down. A lot of his army is being chipped away at. But down goes the 3rd base. The Immortals are just doing so much damage against the Stalkers. But the Void Rays are able to output almost just as much damage. There goes the Warp Prism. And FoxMacher is being pushed back into his natural with his tail between his legs to the shield battery here. And this time, Dranes can go back now. Now he can go back to his 3rd base and, you know, sit back and try to catch back up in this game. And it looks like that's what he's going to be doing here. Doesn't need to push the issue too much now. He knows he's got 3 bases. His opponent only has 2. This is when you want to be defensive, not necessarily attack into a very defensible area. So things are looking pretty rough for Dranes now. I think he wants to sneak another base. This is pretty ambitious. If it were me, I would probably recommend just taking the 3rd base in a normal location. I think Dranes spotted this. Or for some reason, he's skeptical here. He's making sure that it's 3 base versus 2 base. And if these probes start coming back, oh my god, they're playing chicken here. This probe could have gave everything away, but it got so lucky. Skirts by the army. Hopefully the rest of these probes stay still, and they will, so they're not going to give away the position too much. But, I mean, now the game is totally in Dranes' court. He's got a much higher supply, he's got a better economy, and he's got a better army. He's literally ahead in basically every aspect, except for upgrades. FoxMacher did manage to pick up Charge, which is very, very helpful in PvP, and he's got the +1 armor upgrade as well, so as well as going for +2 attack, I think that is. So the upgrades are in favor of FoxMacher, but everything else in favor of Dranes here. And what's he going to do? He's taking a 4th. I like this decision. His army's a little bit out of position, and by a little bit I mean kind of a lot, but luckily for him it doesn't really matter right now. I think he's going to try to put together another attack. He's got to assume that FoxMaker is going to be taking a third or going all in. Those are the options, essentially. Or just starving himself out, which is going to be beneficial to him no matter what he does. So the third base is over here. It's almost fully saturated. Going to have some gases coming in. But these probes, man, they're rallied over there. Eventually, one of these probes is going to give away the base, I think. And Dranes doing what needs to be done. The Stargate actually helping him out quite a bit. He's also got a Dark Shrine, too. DTs are always good. And they can be morphed into Archons, which it looks like the main reason for the excuse me, for the DTs right now. This hidden base, man. How long will it remain hidden for? This army is absolutely brutal for Dranes, and I have no idea how FoxMaker is going to be able to defend against it. We're going to be finding out soon as the armies are about to collide. This Void Ray out of position, going to get sniped instantly. FoxMaker knows where the army is now. Are there any observers? I don't think there's any observers here for Dranes, so there are DTs in the mix that are just going to be doing so much damage. There's no observers here. Only for FoxMaker. So these DTs are the only reason why Dranes is going to get pushed back. That is an incredible amount of DTs going undetected, and he's going to have to recall back again. Very big mistake not to have an observer with his main army there. Otherwise, it's probably game over. Like, let's admit it. At that point, if he has an observer, it's probably going to be game over. But he does not, and because of that, he loses a ton of his army and gives FoxMaker a chance to get back in this game. He's making observers now. Hopefully he'll be able to keep them alive. But that said, I mean, he's had 4 bases here for quite a while. This natural is a little bit oversaturated. Might want to move some of these workers over to the 4th to really take advantage of that. And this base is going strong. Still not scouted yet. And these probes are... I keep thinking that one day these probes are going to give it all away, but FoxMaker taking another hidden base on the top right corner of the map. How many is he going to get away with? Maybe all of them. And he's going to need it at this point to catch back up in this game, I think. Upgrades are starting to even out a little bit. Well, we got +3 attack for FoxMaker and +3 attack coming in, about to finish for Dranes. In comes the Stalker DT hit squad. There are cannons here, so the DTs are spotted. And this is going to be pushed back pretty easily here. So far, Dranes has been showing the showing he's got an advantage when it comes to macro, at least in terms of building an army. FoxMaker has kind of had a smallish army for a big portion of this game. But as far as decision-making goes, I think that I'd give that to FoxMaker and the secret bases over here really keeping him in this game. Like, without them, it would be a lot harder for him. Another engagement over here. These Archons caught out of position. One of them, nice decision there. I like, he left one Archon behind to let the other 2 escape. And now they're going to report that an attack is coming in on the 3rd base once again. And there is... I mean, this is going to be pretty close. The Archon's coming in to engage. The Stalker's in the back trying to output as much damage as possible. The Void Rays are charged up again, just doing insane amount of damage to the mechanical units of FoxMaker. And this is really, really close here. The Immortal in the back is racking up kills, racking up damage, and some reinforcements coming in for Dranes. The Charge Lots, though, man. Charge Lots doing really, really good here, surrounding the army, and it's only Void Rays left. Very nice defense here coming out of FoxMaker, and he will defend in the end without losing too much. And again, pushing Dranes back. Now, Dranes has, you know, he's got the bigger armies, but he's making some attacks that are not necessarily ending out in his favor. This is a pretty good warping spot, by the way, for these DTs. They can just sneak on in. But there are cannons placed around the place, so they're not really going to get a lot of damage done. However, over here, might be able to sneak a DT in behind the mineral line without getting seen by the cannons. Not really sure. Let's see what he wants to do with those. Is that it? Okay, that's Dranes. Dranes is going to be taking a 5th base over here. FoxMaker looks like he was going to try to poke around and do some damage at the 3rd, but decides better of it. And the DTs are just going to join the main army. Gonna be spotted by this observer as well. Not sure if he actually saw it, but I think I threw this game. I think there was a little bit of throwing, but it's mostly just because he doesn't know about the secret bases. But he's still in it. He still has a lead. He actually still has more workers, more income, and more army. So he hasn't thrown it just yet. But who knows? I mean, he might be on track to throw it. More gateways coming in. How many gateways does each player have? Because that's pretty important in PvP. Keeping it pretty even here, 8 to 7 in terms of warp gates. But this is 2 more coming in for FoxMacher. It will help him warp in a lot more units. But as I say that, 2 more gateways coming in for Dranes as well. So keeping things pretty even on both sides. These players are very evenly matched. You know, they each have their own skills that they have an advantage over their opponent. So that's why we're seeing a pretty good game right now. A clash of 2 equally matched players. And once again, the army is starting to swell here for Dranes. But the amount of bases is getting pretty ridiculous now for FoxMacher. And even if he does lose one at this point, he's going to be able to, you know, afford that because he's got so many other bases that are hidden around the map. Here comes a little charge lot run by here. There's no defense at this base, so very good idea from FoxMacher. The Void Rays are taking the long way around, so quite a few probes are going to go down before these guys get caught. Very nice harass here from FoxMacher to try to bring himself back into a position where he can be considered in the lead. What about those upgrades? Still no Twilight Council upgrades coming from Dranes. That is a big mistake. Engagement over here at the 4th base, I think, for FoxMacher attacking. Caught the army out of position, but going to be pushed back by these Void Rays. Those Archons can do a number on these Void Rays if they all get shots off. But the engagement is working out much better for Dranes here. He's going to push this back. You can see here the damage on the buildings, by the way, indicate a little bit of either indecisiveness or just not watching the army and improper targeting. A lot of damage went into this gateway and this one as well, so you know that could have been damage put in on the Nexus or the army units. Here we go. Dranes pushing in on the 3rd base once again. He's done this several times this game. The Void Rays again have been the difference, and he's going to be pushing FoxMacher back here. He should be able to take out this base, no problem. Careful with splitting your army like this, though. Now this army is definitely going to lose the engagement over here. But it looks like the 3rd base is going to go down. Please. There we go. Takes it out. Going to try to do some more damage on this side of the map. He's got a ton of probes pulled for some reason over here. I really don't know what's going on with these probes, but the rest of the army is going to end up being taken out here by the defensive reinforcements from FoxMacher. Quite a bit of damage going down, but the army... I don't know, man. I thought FoxMacher was actually going to be able to defend, but the Void Rays are still holding strong in the sky. A couple Stalkers on the ground as well. 1 Immortal. Maybe 2. No, 1 Immortal. He's got 10 kills now. And this Natural is going down. Meanwhile, what can FoxMacher do? He's about to lose his 2nd base. He's got 20 army supply. I'm trying to find it on the map, but I don't know where it is. Got to turn these into warp gates. That'll really help. Here we go. Stalkers coming in from the left flank, and finally I think these Void Rays might go down, but charging up again, just outputting so much damage on the Stalkers, it's ridiculous. Huge warping coming in, and I think that's going to be about it for Dranes. He's going to be running back home, and he's got to be confused. We look at Dranes' vision. He has no idea about 3 of these bases that have been up for quite a while. So he's got to be thinking that he has just a major lead here, but without knowing about those bases, it's he's wondering how can FoxMacher afford this many Stalkers. Now FoxMacher going to be pushing back. It looks like the minerals have not been being spent in army units for Dranes, and now, despite everything, FoxMacher's climbing his way back into this game. Here come the Stalkers, going to see what they can do against this base, and no charge on these Zealots. All he needed was charge on these Zealots, and this is a totally different engagement. Now these Stalkers can out-micro the Zealots for days, and they're going to try to do just that. More harassment with Zealots coming in on this side as well. I think more workers have gone down. 54 to 43 workers killed. This is not your favorite game if you're a probe, and this base is going to go down. So FoxMacher really pressing his opponent in terms of multitasking and forcing him to be all over the map. And Dranes is having a hard time dealing with it all. This base is going to be mined out soon. He's managed to grab almost every single mineral from this undetected. So now, this is where the game is starting to tilt into FoxMaker's favor. These bases are finally paying off. He's able to afford all these stalkers. He's got upgrades. He's got 3-3 right now. He's got charge as well if he wants to warp in some zealots to help support these stalkers. Over here, that's exactly what's happening. These zealots are in battle. Stalkers are going to join. And this is becoming a little bit overwhelming for Dranes now. This base was finally located, but it's too little too late. 3 stalkers left in defense. And at this point now, I don't know what Dranes can do. He's being overwhelmed. He doesn't have enough money to reinforce. He's got this many zealots coming in. What is that, like 6 zealots coming in from the side. GG is called from both players. And there you have it. It was a very good back and forth game. And whoops, I hit the wrong button there. So I was going to actually look at the map and take a look, but I guess it's too late to do that. But I think it was an interesting game, and I don't think I'm necessarily good enough to give it a full, proper analysis. But definitely, I mean, it's pretty obvious the hidden bases played a huge role for FoxMacher, and that's a lesson that Dranes can take away from this, is if it looks like you're beating your opponent, and it did for quite a while, if it seems like this guy has more money than he should, then send a few zealots out across the map, you know? Hallucinate some Phoenix, have them look around and look for those hidden bases. And it's just one of those things that you end up learning over time, you know? You're going to get beat by it a certain amount of times until finally it sticks in your head that you should be checking for that kind of thing. But it was really well played by both players, and an awesome game. So thank you so much for sharing that to Reddit so that I can cast it. And I hope you enjoyed the cast. And for those of you who are not FoxMacher, I hope you enjoyed it as well. And if you've had any pretty cool games you want to send me, you can email me at gdoggcasey SC2@gmail.com, and I will do my best to cast it for you as soon as possible. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.